Hey everybody, today I'm really excited to talk about our Kitchen Helper dishwashing soap bars. We have been receiving a lot of feedback, very helpful ones, very encouraging ones, and almost, I think pretty much all who have come back to us, especially those who have skin issues and they've been putting off dishwashing or they dread touching dishes because it causes so much pain in cracked hands because of the drying nature of most dishwashing soap, liquid soaps. Everyone loved it. So it left their hands feeling much more comfortable, surprisingly no pain or stinging when they were done washing dishes. So I'm really glad to hear that, and that was the main reason why we made this soap bar in the first place, so that it can really be an alternative to using the typical dishwashing liquids that we normally find, which tend to be quite drying on the skin. So having said that, it's not perfect. So I'm going to go over some of the comments that came up that made the soap bar a little bit of a challenge to use when handling your normal, your daily dishwashing in the kitchen. The first one is that it's difficult to remove heavily oiled pots and pans. Now, I use the dishwashing soap, as in the soap bar, and I make stews, I make bolognese sauces, I make soups, I fry things in frying pans, and I've not had trouble using the soap, as in my dishes are always clean after that. But there possibly could be two things that could be contributing to why it makes it a bit difficult to wash your dishes with a soap bar. One is that the water that you have in your house might be hard, as in it has a lot of mineral content, so it forms soap scum, which makes it you need to put a bit more elbow grease into cleaning something, and I'll come back to soap scum later. But the other thing that I find that helps when it comes to heavily greasy dishes is that I rinse and I scrub the dishes first, get most of the debris off the pot or the pan first, or the dishes. Get that off, as in I really scrub it off, or I let it soak for a while in just normal room temperature water, soften up the stuck bits that are on the dish, scrub it off, and then you're left with a whole pile of more or less clean dishes, but it's just that they're oily. And then take the sponge with a damp sponge, rub it on the surface of the kitchen soap, and then I clean the dish, and that has always given me really good results. So maybe you could try doing it this way if you're having trouble, if you find that you have trouble using the dishwashing soap bar. So my eldest son doesn't do this, and he insists on just rinsing it, a perfunctory rinse under the faucet, and he doesn't scrub it first, so he complains that the soap bar doesn't work well for him. So it's really just a matter of techniques, dishwashing techniques. So maybe you could give this a try. Okay, coming back to the soap scum. So hard water. When you use typical dishwashing detergents or dishwashing liquids or detergents, it's a water softener. It's EDTA, ethylene diamine tetraacetic acid, if I'm not mistaken. And this is a common additive to help with dealing with hard water, where you find in areas where you find it easy to form soap scum and a line scale. This helps to actually prevent that from happening so much. Now, we don't have that in our soap bars, of course. So you might find that when you use a soap bar, it does tend to leave a slightly filmy, sometimes people feel that it's sticky, residue behind. So unfortunately, we can't do very much about that. It's the water quality. So if you find that there is an issue, that it's leaving a sticky layer on your skin or on the plates, I would say that you can try. Sometimes it actually just needs a little bit more extra soaping to get the second layer off, as in the sticky feeling off, but that may not be the best course of action to take. You can read more about hard water and how to deal with soap scum. You can find articles online, or I'll try and share some links later. Now, the other thing is that this soap bar, it is not the standard size that we normally make, which is 100 grams and it's a rectangular flat bar. So in this case, we opted to make a cube, which is a hefty, like 330 grams or so. So people were wondering where to put it, or they left it in a place, or they put it into a bowl and it melted at the bottom because it was left sitting in water. So your best course of action for this would be to put it on a well-draining soap dish, or some people shared the solutions that they found, which was, okay, sorry, the camera's shaking because Molly is here. So some people shared the solution that they found was to find a soap dish, a tray actually, a rack that had a tray underneath to drain the water back into the sink. And they put it right next to the sink there. So it's actually quite a good solution for them. So these are the common things that we found. They are not terrible issues, but they do interfere with the ease of use of the soap bar, especially for those of us who don't necessarily have persistent skin issues. So I'd like to share all that with you so that you are aware. These might be potential issues that you can come across while using the soap bar, or they may not be. So either way, I'd love to hear your experience with using it. Mostly, I'm just glad that we came up with an option that, one, keeps the skin happy so that you can do dishes without worrying about it hurting, and two is that this is a bottle-free. This is a bottle-free option to dishwashing detergents, and hopefully we can do our part in reducing the amount of packaging waste that goes into the landfill, alongside refilling stations. So if you do prefer to use liquid soap, please try and go to visit places like Kita Refill, where they can they've got a whole selection of laundry detergents and liquid soaps and dishwashing liquids that you can use around your household and replace having to buy a new bottle of these things every time you run out. So please give them a visit and tell them I said hello. So I hope this video helps. Let me know if you got any comments or suggestions as to how to make this better.